Hello, listeners. This is Deborah. We have another new podcast from the House of the Guilty Feminist. It's called Media Storm, and if you're enjoying absolute power and finding out in more detail how a democracy works, you're going to love Media Storm, in which two investigative journalists, Helena Wadia and Matilda Mallinson, go and find new stories and give voice to those who are asked last, if at all, by the media. Here's a trailer.
Drug like
body shame,
criminals,
refugees,
that
crazy,
rape survivors,
vagrant, the homeless.
Have you ever noticed that certain groups are spoken about in the media all the time, but never spoken to?
Or maybe you haven't, because it's so damn normal.
Media Storm is an investigative podcast from the Guilty Feminist that starts with the people who are normally asked last.
We've already heard revelations from refugees, Asian minorities, sexual violence survivors, and transgender people.
Our next guests take us into their worlds of prisons, sex work, drugs, and homelessness, and onto the front lines fighting fatphobia and ableism.
I'm Helena Wadia.
And I'm Matilda Mallinson.
And next on Media Storm.
If you tell somebody their whole life that you're no good, what happens is they believe it.
It is disgusting, the way they treat people.
He said, and I quote, "I was fat."
All they tell me is what's wrong with me. I don't know any different.
So they wheeled me out in my wheelchair. I was just left there to die.
Become abusive yourself.
Needles were being pushed in more roughly. I was being handled more roughly.
He said that I got myself into this because I opened my legs.
I kicked off like a wild animal because they put me in the shower, 6 of them, cold shower, washing me, scrubbing me because I was dirty.
MRI scanners aren't big enough for overweight people.
I've struggled to get officers to speak on the record about what goes on in prison.
We're literally not allowed to.
Advocates do not need to be a voice for the voiceless. We are empowered. We are
Stop
magic.
Stop gatekeeping. Stop censoring people.
I would love to know why the media asks the CEOs of a homeless charity anything about homelessness.
I feel really invisible.
Is the media reporting on or creating the crisis?
Plot twist.
It's not, I don't wait for the mainstream media to do anything. Drug like
criminals,
that
crazy,
the homeless.
Hear our stories. We are the ones who have lived this. Our lived experience is leadership. We are the experts.
It's really simple. Just present both sides of the story.
Follow Media Storm wherever you get your podcasts so that you can get access to new episodes as soon as they drop. If you like what you hear, share this episode with someone and leave us a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. It really helps more people discover the podcast, and our aim is to have as many people as possible hear these voices.
You can also follow us on social media at Matilda Mal, at Helena Wadia, and follow the show via at Media Storm Pod.
Also get in touch and let us know what you'd like us to cover or who you'd like us to speak to.
Media Storm, a new podcast from the House of the Guilty Feminist, is part of the Acast Creator Network. It is produced by Tom Zielinski and Deborah Francis White.
The music is by Samphire.